Okay, this is the post-fight video for Canelo versus Yildirim. So, business as usual. Canelo Alvarez takes care of business with what can only be described as a human punching bag with Yildirim. Hands up, tucked up behind the sides, walking around the ring, allowing Canelo to tee off on what I would say is probably a glorified sparring session. In fact, I've seen sparring sessions more competitive. We've all seen sparring sessions more competitive on YouTube than this garbage that we saw tonight. However, I want to make something very clear here about Canelo. He got the job done against a guy who is world ranked. Let's not forget this guy is world ranked. He might not be one of the best fighters in the world. He's world ranked. He was a mandatory. And Canelo dispatched of him in class. Inside 3 rounds. It wasn't competitive. He didn't struggle. He didn't look like he got out of first care. He teed off and he did what had to be done. He dispatched. He showed he was a different class. We knew that coming into the fight, right? We knew what we were looking at in this fight. We knew we weren't looking at no real big competitive fight. We knew that Joe Saunders would be next. We just wanted to know how Canelo would go about the business. Professional, consummate pro, and just beat up Yildirim. And really just beat him up. I mean, the most embarrassing thing out of this would have been his new trainer. I mean, big talk. Oh, he's got a new trainer. He's brought a new trainer in. So what did the new trainer teach him to do? Tuck up and walk around like a human punching bag. Now, is that an advertisement? Is that the sort of advertisement you want as a trainer to be bringing in other fighters? Now, I know that fighters don't generally represent what a trainer wants. But what was the game plan? What, tuck up for 6 rounds and hope Canelo blows himself out? I don't know what the game plan was. See how much punches you can take? I don't know. The only time I've seen somebody do that, like that, is in a sparring session where you're doing technical sparring and what you're trying to do is practice your defense while the other person lets off punches on you. But that's in a sparring session and that's with rules and that's with somebody in the ring, not allowing someone to tee off and take advantage. That was just a brutal beatdown. And, Canelo looked sharp. And Mr. Yildirim's going to have nice ribs in the morning. Sore ribs. And I don't think anybody wants to see that again. How many punches did Yildirim actually throw in the fight? I mean, 3, 4, 5 punches? I don't know if he was scared to throw punches in the beginning. I don't know if... I'm sure. In fact, I could put I could back my whole life here that Yildirim has had better competitive sparring with Canelo than he actually did in a fight. When have you seen well, actually there have been situations, but this was disgusting in terms of performance. But I guess that's another. Remember, this is how many fights that Canelo's got signed up on his contract of his, this deal. Is he still in part of that deal, or is that deal gone now? Anyway, he's won. That's what he needs to do. Beat up Yildirim, and that's that. I have to say that there are fighters in the world today, well-known fighters, that fight guys levels below them and struggle. Or fight guys levels below them and don't look competitive or don't look great. Joseph Parker didn't look great last night. He didn't show he was levels above. Canelo showed his levels above. And that is not a foregone conclusion. Because there are a lot of fighters today that talk the talk and say, I'm levels above. And then when it comes down to the performance, it don't look too great. I don't like calling names out, but Devin Haney's performance against Gamboa, where everyone thought that Devin Haney was levels above, he didn't blow out Gamboa. He didn't do anything spectacular in that fight. Do you understand? When we talking about levels above, Canelo's showing you what it means by levels above. He's shown you that tonight, and I'm happy for what he's done there. Next up is Mr. Joe Saunders. I just feel that we might witness one of the worst beatings for a British fighter of recent memory, a really bad beating. A really bad beating. Because I don't know if Billy Joe Saunders has got the power to keep Canelo off. You know, I don't think he's got the TNT to keep Canelo off. And if he can't, and if he walks straight through Billy, it could be a very painful, one-sided beating of Billy Joe Saunders. In my previous video, I forgot about Caleb Plant. And I think Caleb Plant may cause more problems because he seems that he's got more movement about him than Billy Joe Saunders now in 2021. I still don't expect a great fight from Billy Joe Saunders. I expect some sort of disqualification. I really do. I just roughhouse stuff, and I hate to say this. It's like from one side of it, you're seeing Canelo, the consummate pro, and in the other side, you're seeing Billy Joe Saunders, who looks so disorganized in comparison. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just like, this is the fight that everyone is expecting it to be. It isn't. It really isn't. And I don't expect much from this fight. I expect to see a very, very dominant performance with a guy who's been in shape, a guy that's been disciplined, a guy that's been consistent, a guy that has vision, versus a guy now in Billy Joe Saunders who's been pretty disorganized and haphazard, and has had a lot of issues outside the ring, which is a bit of a concern. And I don't know if Billy Joe Saunders is going to self-destruct between now and May the 8th. I really don't. I just, based on what I've seen previously in his history with either injuries or things outside the ring. But if he can keep himself disciplined, and if he can get himself in shape, and if he can get himself to May 8th without any incidents and gets to the ring, I assure you, boxing fans, this is going to be very painful. It's going to be worse than the Callum Smith fight. I'm telling you now, it's going to be worse than the Callum Smith fight. It's going to be worse because Canelo's going to be on him from round one, and he's going to make Billy fight. And the punches that Billy's going to get hit with, I'm telling you, this could be brutal. Honestly, the thing that worries me about this fight is not just Billy Joe Saunders' inactivity. It is lack of level of opposition at the highest level. When you look at Billy Joe Saunders' record and you look at the guys he's fought, again, David Lemieux is probably the best name on his resume. Willie Lemon. None of the guys that he's fought has got the explosiveness as a Canelo. The guy that's been consistent, a guy who's been constantly improving, the consummate pro. You know, no. Canelo's at the peak of his powers, and I believe Billy Joe Saunders is on the slide. I really do. And I've seen nothing as a super middleweight that he's done so far that has made me think, yeah, he's in with a shot here. He just isn't. It's just the Canelo show goes on. I just hope that Billy does himself proud on the night and can get through 12 rounds, negotiate 12 rounds without catching a big shot in between and getting nailed. Because I saw, if you go back and look at the Chris Eubank fight carefully, and I think about round 6 or round 7, Eubank nails Saunders with a right hand. And I think he's out on his feet for a couple of seconds and he goes back to the corner unsteady. That's what Chris Eubank did at middleweight. And Eubank is no puncher. God forbid what happens when Canelo lands a haymaker. And what I see is going to happen is Billy Joe Saunders is not going to be sharp as he needs to be. And you need to be really sharp with the sort of style Billy Joe Saunders has got. He is going to make Billy miss. And he's going to make him pay. Go look at the Martin Murray fight. Look at his last fight against Martin Murray. Look at that fight. And look at Canelo's last 2 fights against Callum Smith and against Yildirim now. Look at the sharpness. His upper body movement. That's going to cause Billy Joe Saunders nightmares. Billy Joe Saunders is going to throw shots. Canelo's going to use the upper body movement. Move, slip back, count, and throw right hand over the top. I'm telling you. It's coming. It's coming. And then... I just feel very I'm very concerned for Billy Joe Saunders in this fight. I'm telling you, more concerned for him than Callum Smith. More concerned. You know? But I want to say thank you so much to those people who have given feedback and left comments. I really appreciate it. And I do read them and I like them. And I always like to hear what people are thinking. So congratulations to Canelo, showing he is levels above. Yes, it wasn't what we expected. No, I don't want to see him fighting Charlo next because I want him to actually go and become undisputed. I really do. I do. And then, as he becomes undisputed, which is good. It's nice to see a guy fighting regularly. We say all we want about, well, he's not fighting the very best. You can't fight the very best every single fight. And, you know, the one guy that did that was Floyd Mayweather, and that wasn't even appreciated. So, let Canelo do what he's doing. You understand? Let him do what he's doing. I like what the guy's doing. He's telling us, I'm fighting at this date, I'm fighting this man. I'm fighting this date, I'm fighting this man. I'm fighting this date, I'm fighting this man. No pullouts, no injuries, no shenanigans. We're getting Canelo, we're getting him regular. And I think other fighters should follow the Canelo example. Not the Mayweather example. Mayweather's gone. People still follow Mayweather. Canelo is the example today to being a consummate pro. And man management, matchmaking, Canelo. That's what people need focusing on. Okay? How his matchmaking's been done for him. You look at the type of guys Canelo's fighting. A lot of them are making him look great because they're flat-footed and they're not movers. They're not movers. You got Caleb Plant coming up. Okay, Caleb Plant's not a big puncher. He's a mover. But Canelo stalk him, work his body, break him down and stop him. I think that will happen with that. Saunders is not that much of a mover as he was as a middleweight. You know, he doesn't want a tricky, slicky guy that's going to slip in, moving, and you don't want them kind of guys because that makes Canelo look bad. And all the fights Canelo has got now, it's to make him look good. Flat-footed, not much movement, either past your best or, you know, you've not been training or you've not fought actively, that sort of thing. Just look at the Canelo record. Very smart, business moves, very good, brilliant matchmaking, and let the Canelo show continue. And I hope some of the younger guys that are around, that are shouting around as if they're like Canelo, but not really like Canelo, take a leaf out of the Canelo book and learn, fight regularly. Okay, if Canelo can do it, some of the younger guys can do it as well. Thank you, as always. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. Thanks for watching BWTM Sports. I'm out. Take care.